Hi everyone, let's continue our look at this stupid crap. I really don't want to.
A total solar eclipse is only possible because the sun is 400 times larger than the moon and is about 400 times farther away from the Earth.
Wait, so you think an omnipotent being put the moon right there because he wants it to be there? Well then, why the hell is it receding? The moon drains angular momentum from the Earth as it interacts with it tidally. It's almost as if there is no wizard around to prevent that from happening. Again, you're pointing to something that is perfectly natural and saying this proves that it's supernatural. If it behaved any other way, that's when we could say there was something supernatural going on.
Evolutionists believe that the sun, earth, and moon formed when our solar system came into existence about 4.5 billion years ago.
That's the smartest thing you've said so far. Yes, evolutionists believe that the Earth was formed when it came into existence.
But the moon is moving farther away from the Earth each year. So if the moon were too far away or too close to the Earth at the time humans existed, observers on Earth would never see the event of a total solar eclipse.
Didn't I already cover that?
Another major problem for evolutionists
Another? You haven't mentioned any so far.
is that the moon would have been extremely close to the Earth in the past. In fact, the moon would have gotten so close that it would have hit the Earth in far less time than 4.5 billion years ago.
Yes, if we ignore the fact that the recession rate depends on the distribution of the continents on Earth, and that changes over time since the Earth is geologically active.
Evolutionists claim that our solar system emerged from a cloud of swirling dust. Therefore, the composition of the various planets and their temperature should be similar to one another, but they are not.
Wow. I'd really like to see how you came to that conclusion. Why would a planet closer to the sun be hotter than a planet further away from it? I don't know, could it have something to do with the sun emitting heat? And why would heavy materials in a cloud that consists mostly of hydrogen, the lightest element there is, sink to the center of it? Yeah. Why would it?
Gravity, you fucking retard! Gravity! Have you ever heard of fucking gravity? Gravity!
However, there are big problems with the Big Bang Theory. First, if you concentrated all the mass in the universe in that much smaller than a pinhead starting point, there would have been so much gravity there that nothing would be able to escape it.
Gravity only propagates at the speed of light, and the universe inflated initially. It expanded many, many times faster than the speed of light. Did you miss the part about inflation when you studied cosmology? Oh, right, you didn't.
Second, explosions don't produce order, they destroy order.
First, what explosion? The Big Bang wasn't an explosion, it was an expansion of space-time. Second, I assume you're talking about order as in low entropy. Otherwise, this doesn't make any sense. I don't know what order refers to otherwise. So, how can I respond to that? Well, let's see. One dot containing everything. That's very low entropy. An entire universe full of crap distributed pretty much seemingly at random, moving around seemingly at random. Yeah, that's high entropy. So in what sense has order not been destroyed?
Also, if a Big Bang exploded everything, the planets and moons would be spinning in the same direction based upon a law called the conservation of angular momentum.
Oh! Hi, Kent Hovind. Wow. Conservation of angular momentum, first of all, has nothing to do with how the universe came into being. But another problem here is that total angular momentum is conserved, but that doesn't mean that the angular momentum of each component is conserved. See, conservation laws have to do with the conservation of a quantity in some form of interaction. It's like a financial transaction. If I have $100 and you have nothing, the total amount of money is $100. Let's say I give you $20. Then I will have 80 and you will have 20. In total, that's still 100. The total has been conserved. But the distribution has changed. And the same can be the case with angular momentum, or energy, or linear momentum, or any other conservation law that we know of in physics. The total is conserved.
Comets are also estimated by evolutionists to be billions of years old. When comets travel in space and move closer to the sun, they begin to lose mass as they are burned up by the sun. Therefore, comets could only last maybe 10,000 years before all of them would be burned up.
Yeah, that's right. They survive for a very short amount of time, astronomically speaking, once they take orbits that bring them close to the sun. So, in conclusion, they usually don't have such orbits. They stay on orbits that are very high until something disturbs that orbit, sending them inward.
Interestingly, other things that could only last around 10,000 years are soft tissue, blood cells, and DNA. Yet all these things were recently found in dinosaur bones.
Except that first off, no blood cells were found, only proteins from blood and collagen. Second, while these chemicals normally break down, there are conditions under which they don't. Now, these conditions are extremely rare, which is why we don't find this stuff all the time. If dinosaurs lived thousands rather than millions of years ago, we would find it all the time. Another very interesting thing is that amino acid sequencing of these samples confirmed that birds evolved from dinosaurs. I think it's pretty interesting how so often when creationists claim that something disproves evolution, it's actually something that confirms it.
Another huge problem for evolutionists is the Earth's current human population number of 7.3 billion. The world population is currently growing at about 1.14% per year. But if we started with 2 humans, how long would it take to reach our current 7.3 billion humans using, say, a 2% yearly growth rate?
Why would we start with 2? And why use a 2% growth rate when during most of history the growth rate was 0?
The answer is that it would only take about 1,100 years. Since evolutionists believe that we have been on Earth significantly longer than 1,100 years, why don't we have a dramatically higher number of people on Earth?
I might as well ask you the same question. Were there only 2 humans alive 1,100 years ago? No. So why would you use a number that you know is completely inaccurate?
Also, where are all the bones or graves, considering that almost all people throughout history have buried the dead?
Again, I'll ask you the same question. I mean, you've already pointed out that tissue decays.
How would life begin on Earth when it is a fact that life can't come from non-life?
And again, I'll ask you the same question. If it's a fact that life can't come from non-life, then there is no life. And there is. So clearly it's not a fact that life can't come from non-life. Now, of course, I understand that what you're talking about is how Pasteur disproved spontaneous generation, but that refers to the formation of modern, complex life forms like insects or rats from dead matter. It was believed that maggots formed in rotting corpses, for example. What spontaneous generation doesn't refer to is chemical reactions under the right conditions having a self-replicating product that then, through random replication errors and selection pressure, becomes better and better suited to its environment, resulting in increased complexity. However, spontaneous generation is something that you believe in. You believe that humans are mud animated by the magical breath of a wizard. And interestingly, in the next part, you're going to spend a lot of time talking about how we are not made of mud, but the incredibly complex biological constructs we would be if we were not the result of magic. See you then.